Hi, my name is Damian Esparza, and I'm a board member of A Faith That Does Justice. And I have been a contributor and supporter of the organization since I first met Father Peter in 2013 or so. And I say a supporter of the organization because I was with Father Peter before it even started. He was first at a parish in San Diego, a Jesuit parish in San Diego, and that's where I met him. And it was on a Sunday at a high school where he was actually giving the homily for a Boston College reunion mass, which he was a graduate of, and I was a graduate of, am a graduate of as well. And I went with my wife, and we were so moved by his homily. And Father Peter was known for his homilies. And his ability to connect with parishioners and people sitting in the pew, speaking the message of Jesus Christ, as if Jesus Christ was here today, wowed us. And it called me to want to learn more about who was this guy, who was this priest. And so after the Mass, at the time I was working for the Diocese of San Diego. I was the Director of Stewardship and Development. And so I knew a lot of the priests in the diocese, but I didn't know him. And so I went up and I introduced myself to Father Peter. And that's where our friendship began, was right there and then. And I said, I want to help you. And I want to help you spread your message to the rest of the Diocese of San Diego, because I think what you are, or how you are connecting and communicating the message of the gospel, will resonate with a lot of parishioners, a lot of Catholics, and a lot of human beings. And so, Father Peter was like, okay. And so if you knew Father Peter, he was just a very down-to-earth, easygoing guy. He didn't really know anything about setting up any type of organization. He was, working at the Jesuit parish in San Diego. And so as we began this process of getting to know each other, he started to build workshops out of the parish that he was at. And then that slowly turned into something that I believe he was truly called to, which is a faith that does justice. So we began that work in San Diego. He started to get a lot of momentum on that. And then he ended up having to leave San Diego and move to Boston. And I remember when he had to go to Boston, he wasn't super, it was quite sudden, and he wasn't super, pleased, right? I think he was more shocked than anything in terms of, the occurrences that happened that ultimately got him to Boston. But I remember telling him, I was at the airport at the time, and he had called and said, hey, I'm having to move to Boston. I said to him, when one door closes, another one opens. And that ended up being very true. And the opportunity for him to be in Boston and give the greater New England community a larger, giving them an opportunity to connect with him and giving him a larger voice and larger area to connect with people, surface area for him to connect with people, I think was ultimately just as God had planned. And so at that point in time, he set up the corporation officially out of, the nonprofit corporation officially out of Boston. And I was there from the very beginning, and I've served on this board since then. I believe that was in 2015. There was another gentleman, Bill Sheehan, who was his right-hand man in helping set that up. That organization started from 0 to 1 and 1 to many. To, I believe today there's over 50 volunteers that are serving a faith that does justice. And the impact of Father Peter, not just from those that sat in the pew and heard his homily, but to those that actually connected with the services that a faith that does justice has offered, and built stronger relationships in their own lives with those that they serve or those that they touch, has been immense. And it's the number one reason why I participate and have participated on a monthly basis to a faith that a faith that does justice, is because something that Father Peter had said, and something that has always connected with me is that justice is an opportunity for us to become closer to the people that we're meant to be. Father Peter, in a lot of ways, was a rebel. He was not afraid to speak truth to power. And I resonated with that in such a deep way as a cradle Catholic, going to church and, going through a lot of that motions. I, went off the reservation for a number of years. And when I came back to my roots, my Catholic roots, I connected with how Father Peter carried himself and how he acted. It was always of a place of kindness and really wanting to serve those in most need. And that was the message that I felt Jesus Christ was calling me to, as someone who's also been very blessed, is how do we serve those on the marginalized, maybe those that aren't as educated as some of us have been, and how do we ultimately help live the mission of Jesus Christ? Be kind to one another. And so ultimately, this ability for me to participate in a faith that does justice is a way for me to give back and to serve the message of Jesus Christ, the message of the gospel, and to help those that are more on the fringes, those that may have not had the blessings that I have had, and to give back to helping them grow and helping me grow in my own faith, and helping the faith that does justice grow in its ability to serve and have an impact on the community. So I ask you, for you, wherever you're at in your own journey with God and with your participation in organizations that want to give back, speak truth to power, and help our society become more just, to consider giving to a faith that does justice and to participating in this amazing nonprofit as it looks to help make this world a more just place. Thank you for your consideration. Amen.